That look dreary. It's so dreary. Wait, what? What's up, guys? I have to look like that. Oh, there I go. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go again. Sorry. All right. What's this? You know what I do every week? Facebook, what up, though? What up? Say, what up? Y'all know what we doing today. We talking about sublimation. Sublimation. Like that. All right. Sublimation. But yeah, guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? So I feel like I just seen you guys. I feel like I just seen you, but that's all right. It's okay. It's no big deal. I like seeing you. It's cool. But yeah, I'm always here. I love teaching you guys things and watching you guys go. So yeah, but I'm here. I'm on Facebook right now, making sure Facebook knows we're on YouTube. One day, I ain't gonna have to do that, but you never know. I might continue to do it. I like people. I tell people last week, life be life. It just be a day. Sometimes it's just a day, and you're like, God, I forgot about that video. But who cares? So yeah, I'm just over here on Facebook, letting Facebook know we are on YouTube. About to start the craft room at noon. We're it's about 12:06 yet. So about to start the craft room at noon. We're gonna talk about sublimation. It's gonna be short. I'm not gonna stop saying very short because it's never. I be saying that and then I look up and it's like an hour, 1 hour later. I'm like, that was not very short. But yeah, we're just gonna be talking about sublimation. Sublimation, I think that's where I started. I went to the other stuff. Like, well, no, I'm lying. I started at Party Favors. Then I went into sublimation. Then I went to DTS. That's what my daughter do. She got a stereotype. I'd be like, girl, somebody get these kids. Somebody get these kids. But yes, y'all, we are talking today. We're going to be talking about sublimation. Y'all see my cup? Y'all don't know this month is autism awareness. My stepsister had autism. So I have a cup that says, why do I have this in here? I have a cup that says, I love somebody with autism. And do. We was just in a group chat earlier. But yes, you guys. I'm just over here, you guys. Facebook. 1 second, YouTube. Facebook. Hebrew Crafty. Cousins. Get your asses to YouTube. Right now. Because y'all be asking me to teach y'all stuff, and then I teach y'all stuff, and then y'all want to get on YouTube. See, what we supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? You asked me to teach you the stuff. Then when I teach you the stuff, you won't log on to the thing to learn the stuff. Get it together. And I got another boot camp coming, so you better not miss it. Cause some of y'all was mad that y'all missed the last one. I got another one coming. Don't miss it. You're gonna be left behind. Okay? And it's not about party favors. I would never do the same boot camp twice in a row. That's no. But anyway, I'm gonna start in like 1 minute. Let people, whoever wants to get on, obviously the replay is available, so I'm gonna start in 1 minute regardless. But yes, we're gonna be talking about sublimation today. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit afterwards. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the boot camp that's coming. It's a sublimation boot camp. It's going to go really, really in depth how I did with the Favorite Hustle boot camp. Yeah, it's going to go very in depth. Favorite Hustle boot camp was so in depth, man. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how long we were in class them days. I'm like, dang, it's been 3 hours. Like, are you kidding me? It was like 11 o'clock. We was getting off. It started at 7. It was like 10:30. But see, the class had ended at like 10:15, and then we just kept talking and talking. We was just talking. We was talking about crafts. We was talking about the cricket. We was talking about a couple different things, but it was just like we was just talking, Yeah. Oh, maybe I should tell you guys where the hints have at. Okay, there we go. Now the YouTube is in the comments. All right, YouTube, I'm about to get started so we can get going. The Facebook, the oh my gosh, I can't even talk right now. The link is in the comments. So if you get over on YouTube, if you want to learn about sublimation, how you can, how you can get started in sublimation. Sublimation definitely is a moneymaker, ridiculously. And so yeah, to get your butts over to YouTube, I just dropped it in the comments. All you gotta do is click, and we gone, baby. I'll see you in a second. All right. YouTube in the building. All right, so today we are going to talk about sublimation. Sublimation is actually what I was doing before I was doing DTFs, because y'all know I love talking about DTF with the shirts and stuff. But sublimation actually was where I started. After I did party favors, I went straight to sublimation. I spent money on my equipment. Ooh. I wish I'd have known some of the stuff that I'm about to tell y'all, because I wouldn't have spent as much money as I spent. But the money's going. What I'm gonna do? Yep. So let me get into this presentation. We're about to just get into it because y'all, it's the middle of the day. We got stuff to do. Okay. Who's that? What you want? Okay. People asking about, listen, the money never stop, baby. I have no audio to share. I'm going to hit share. Let's see. I got to log in on my phone so I can see myself looking all cute and stuff. Because I don't really need to hear myself. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to give it a second because I know it did this last time. For some reason, it just takes a second to pop up. So once that thing pop up, I'm going to be like, But yeah, so we're basically going to be talking about sublimation. Up there we go. Boom, baby. I love you. Yes, I love that. All right. So we're going to be talking about sublimation today. What is sublimation? That is literally the question that a lot of people want to know. They want to know. People don't even know how to say it, child. They like to sub something. They don't even know how to say the thing. Okay. But today I'm going to go into a very basic, give you a basic understanding of what it is, just to see if this is something that you will want to do. Okay, you want to start your business with. It's so much versatility inside of sublimation. It's crazy. Like, it's literally freaking crazy. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I got this. Okay. So the big question is, what is sublimation? Okay, this is Sublimation 101. Okay. All right. Sublimation 101. Everybody text me as soon as I get on live. It's so funny. It's so great. It's so funny. All right. So now, what are we doing today? Okay. Today's goal is to understand what sublimation is and how to get started. Okay. That is the number one goal that we have. Okay. Today, we're not going to be getting under the heat press or anything like that. We're just going to be talking about what sublimation is and how to get started. And we're going to just basically see if it's something that, you would want to do. So like I said before, my promise is we have no deep presses today. We're going to save that for boot camp, which we'll talk about at the end. But we're not pressing today. Today is like basically asking you, is this something you want to do? So the big question that we need an answer to is, what is sublimation? All right. It's basically ink turning into gas and bonding to a polyester coating. That's the simplest way I can put it. Okay. In order for that to happen, you need a special ink and you need a special paper. The special ink is called sublimation ink. Is called sublimation paper. In order for sublimation to work, you need sublimation ink, sublimation paper. Okay. This does not work with printers that have like heat based. It's like a heat based printer, because if you heat sublimation, it's immediately going to try to transfer, and it's going to kind of mess up your printer. So let's not ever use a heat based printer. It's called a thermal printer. For sublimation, you need a printer that you can convert, or a printer that already comes as a sublimation printer. Okay. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So the results of sublimation is you get a soft feel. It's no peel. It's a very vibrant color, and of course, if you use it on the right blanks. So there is a very soft feel with sublimation. You don't really feel the design. Like if you close your eyes and rub your hand across, you wouldn't even know that it's there. And obviously, there's no peel because it's adhering to whatever the blank is that you have, and it's a very vibrant color. Okay. Okay, so when to use it, okay, versus the vinyl or DTF. Choose sublimation if it's a light white, a high poly fabric, or coated blanks. And when I say coated blanks, there's shirts that are polyester, or they have a high polyester count. So you want to always go at least, I don't, me personally, I'm always going to be 100%. If you look on the tag and it says 70% polyester, like if it's not 100%, I'm really not trying to touch it. Like, I'm just being honest. Some people though, they're like, listen, as long as it's the consensus is, as long as it's over 60 or 65%, you could press on it and it'll be vibrant and everything will be good. The problem when you press below that percentage is, once you wash, it might look good when you do it, but once you wash it, it's a wrap. Okay. Once you wash that thing, done. All right. So you want to make sure that the clothes that you're using has a very high poly count. I like to say, if you're not going to go with right with 100, I would say 80% or more, 85% or more. Just a high account, just so that your clothes are going to be good. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that the stuff is going to be vibrant and everything's going to come out great, right? So what I mean by when I say coated, so this tumbler that I showed you guys, this is a poly coated tumbler. So you can sublimate on this with the sublimation ink and paper, because it's a poly coated surface. If this was just a regular tumbler, something or something, you would not be able to sublimate on this. All right, so you can't just go into Dollar Tree and grab any cup that you want. You just can't do that, because all of their cups are not polyester coated. So you'll come home and you'll waste your time by pressing it and everything like that, and then the ink's not even going to come off and press onto the shirt. Onto the tumbler, the cup. I'm all over the place. I'm like, shirt, tumbler, cup. So yeah, if it's coated with polyester, and when it's coated, it's not like 60%, but no, when it's coated, it's like when it's coated, it's going to work. Shirts are when it's like there's like a percentage that you have to worry about. Technology is slow. Like, where's my next piece? Okay. Something just fell into what that was. So when you want to skip sublimation, if it turns 100% cotton, okay, sublimation does not work on cotton. Yes, you can, it might show up a little bit, or it might look vibrant at first, or slightly vibrant. But what's going to happen is, once you wash that, it's done. The ink is going to start washing out of it, because cotton is not what it's made to adhere to. Also, if you have dark colors, you have to use white. Okay, you have to use white. Sublimation does not work with dark colors. You cannot use it on black. You cannot use it on navy blue. It will not show up. Okay, it won't show up. It has to be white. It has to be polyester or high polyester count. All right, and still the 100% cotton on the dark colors. There's hacks for everything. There's a hack to get your stuff to show on 100% cotton. There's a hack to get your stuff to show on dark colors, but obviously, because it's not the right way, it'll take you a couple extra steps in order for you to achieve that look with the cotton and the dark colors. Me personally, I would skip it whenever there's a dark color or the shirt's cotton, and go right with up here with the vinyl or the DTF. Okay, depending on the picture. If it's a really seriously detailed picture, vibrant picture, you're going to go with DTF. If it's just some basic text or something, just go with some vinyl. Okay, I got everything. So I'm just like, yeah. All right. So the starter kit, we're just doing basics, okay? The basics only. So you're going to need, in order to get started with sublimation, let's see, you're going to need a printer, okay? You're going to need a printer. You're going to need a printer that is sublimation ready, which means it's made for sublimation already. Like you don't have to do anything, or you can convert it. I converted my printer, and by converting doesn't mean you're doing anything technical. It's just really switching ink out. So if I not switching ink, you ain't switching ink. Never put the other. Don't put the regular ink ever in there. Basically, what it means to convert it is it means, hey, I'm not putting the regular ink in this printer. I'm going to put sublimation ink in this printer, and instead of feeding the printer regular printer paper, I'm going to feed it sublimation paper, and boom, shakalaka. Once again, if you have a thermal printer, you do not want to convert your thermal printer to sublimation, because sublimation is heat activated. So if it begins to get hot and you have all that heat activated ink inside of your printer, I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm so sorry. You might have to spend some money. Okay, so this is why it's very important to research before you go and buy a printer. You need to buy a certain if you need to look up a certain printer that look up printers that you like, and see if they're good for sublimation. Get reviews on printers that people the most common printer people use. Go on your craft groups. Hey, what printers do you guys use for sublimation? And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that use the same printer. Most people are going to use the Eco Tank. Everybody's going to say Epson. But you have to have a sublimation ready or a converted printer. If I'm not mistaken, a sublimation ready printers cost a little bit more. Just converted printers, the printers you have to convert cost less because they're regular printers, and then you just convert them with the ink. Okay. All right. So like I said before, you need sublimation ink and paper. You are not able to use regular ink and regular paper and put heat on your shirt. If you have sublimation ink and paper, that's the only way it's going to work. Do not try to grab no printer paper out the printer. And some people I have seen, let me say this, I have seen people where they use regular printer paper and sublimation ink, and they're like, it works. I swear it's Listen, it might work. It might. But it's not going to work as good as if you have sublimation paper. Sublimation paper, it's even feels rougher than regular paper. It's built for sublimation. So when you're going to do something and it's going to cost you money to start, do it properly. Don't say, "Well, I'm gonna just use printer paper because it worked." No, you just spent $500 on a printer, and then you're going to not even. And then after all that, you're not even going to freaking buy the right paper. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously. And it comes in small packs, so you can get small packs and just test it or just try it. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to create shortcuts that you really don't need to create. Like, you just really don't have to do that. All right, so you're going to need a heat source. When it comes to doing sublimation, you have to have a heat source. You cannot use an iron. Do not use an iron. It's not hot enough. It's not going to work. There's not enough pressure. It's not going to work. Just don't use an iron, okay? Just listen to me when I tell you. Don't use an iron, okay, baby? So, you can have a heat press like the big one where you lift it up and you push it down. They have the heat presses where it's called like a hand press or something like that, and you hold it and you got to push really hard down on it. I personally and they also have ovens. Like, you can do an oven, and it's really a regular oven, like not your regular oven. Don't use your regular oven. Let me just say this. Hold on. Do not use your regular oven, okay? The reason I say don't use your regular oven is simply because once you use your oven, or once you use something for sublimation, you cannot use it for anything else. I've seen stuff, refuting that. Oh no, that's a myth. I'm not taking any chances. All these chemicals that are coming out, because when you sublimate, things start smoking. You'll see it. And all that stuff coming out, and it's all trapped inside of my oven, and then you want me to go put some chicken in there. Like, I'm not doing it. So you're going to need an oven special for that. So usually people do like a toaster oven or something like that, or microwave oven, or a convection oven. A lot of people do get those things just for sublimation. Okay, so what was I about to say? Yeah, so the heat press, I have the big clamshell heat press that you push down. That's for my shirts and other stuff, other sublimation stuff. But I also have this little hand press. I don't use that for sublimation though. I'm not with that. But yeah, my main source is the heat press. So you can use a heat press, you can have a hand press, whatever. But you need a heat source and you cannot use your iron. You're going to be mad. It's not going to work. And you're going to need poly-friendly blanks, okay? Which is basically what I was talking to you guys about before. You need blanks that are either high in polyester count or 100% polyester count or poly-coated, okay? All right, so what I just said. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what that is. So, files and design basics. All right, we're going to talk about some really, really basic stuff when it comes to files and designs when you're saving designs basically to sublimate them on things. So you want high resolution graphics. You don't want anything that's blurry or anything like that. Things that are blurry, remember that this ink is going to be sinking into the fabric. So when it sinks into the fabric and the picture's already blurry, it's going to make it a little more blurry. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, it is what it is. Okay, so do your best to have high resolution graphics. Okay, super high resolution. All right, highest resolution you can think about. Always remember to mirror your designs. Unless your design is the same way front and back, then you don't have to mirror it. Like no matter whether you turn it here or here, it's the same way, like a circle or whatever. You know what I mean? If it doesn't matter, then don't worry about it. But you always to mirror your items. Sublimation is like a sticker, like a not a sticker, like a tattoo. You know how it's backwards, then you slap it on your arm. Your arm, I always say this, and I say this to everybody, even when I'm talking to my students, talking to my craft community. I always say sublimation is like a tattoo. If you're confused about how it works, I always say it's like one of those fake tattoos that you put on with water. It's like one of those. You see the tattoo is backwards. Your tattoo is basically the design. Okay, the physical tattoo you have in your hand before you put it on, that's the design for your sublimation. Your arm is this polyester or poly coated surface. So you take your tattoo, aka the design, and you sit it or you wrap it or you tape it onto your poly coated surface, which is your arm. Okay. Then you take some water. You take water and you basically dab it, keep on dabbing forever and ever. What happens when you're dabbing it with water, the water is the same as the heat press or the heat source because you have to use that to transfer the tattoo. Then the water's like the heat source. Then once it's done, you peel off the tattoo, you basically peel off the sublimation paper. If you are ever confused about how sublimation works, that is how it works. If it's backwards and you slap it on, and it's going to look forwards at that point. So you always have to mirror sublimation. If you don't mirror it, you're going to regret it. I guarantee you. So bold color will always win. All right, have really bold colors. Sublimation is pretty bright and vibrant, and if you already have a bright and vibrant what's that called, design, then you'll be fine. Okay, it's going to be really pretty. Always, this is the number one rule. I know I made it number 4, but it's really number 1. Always, always, always save your files from sublimation with a transparent background. If you do not do that, you will have a light square, a filled in light square around your image. Always do transparent background. Okay. All right. So what's going to happen? It usually takes away. Oh, yeah. It usually takes. It does take away the white. I don't know if it takes away the white because it basically takes away the white because sublimation doesn't print white, but sublimation is on white. So when it's transparent, you see the white anyway because it's on the cup. But yeah, transparent background all the way, all the way, all the time. Okay. Let's go. We're getting through this. Getting through this thing, y'all. Okay, so let's talk about the workflow. We're going to talk about basically the way that it goes when you do sublimation. All right. So really quick, what you're going to do first, you're going to design it. Okay, you're going to design whatever it is, get the picture or whatever it is. You're going to get all the settings and everything correctly done, and then you're going to print it. Once you print it, you're going to print it out on your sublimation printer with your sublimation ink, okay? And then you're going to prep it. And when you say prep it, it means you're going to put on the item. If I'm using it for a shirt, I'm going to put my shirt down on my craft table and turn the paper over. The paper that I just printed, the design, I'm going to put it on my and what is called a blank surface for sublimation is called a substrate. So if you hear me say substrate, it's just basically a sublimation blank. Okay, so you're going to prep it by putting your design on the substrate. So if it's a tumbler, you're going to be wrapping it around and taping it. If it's a shirt, you're going to be placing it down in the center wherever it's supposed to go in the shirt, and you're going to tape it down. If it's a keychain, you're going to put the keychain on it and tape it down. Okay, you got to prep it so that you can get to the next step, which is heating it, which is heat press, putting it under the heat, pressing it down, and getting it done. So what's going to happen is after you heat it, you take it out of the heat press, and it depends on the blank. Like I'm gonna be honest. It depends on the blank if you want to let it cool or not. Like tumblers, I don't let the tumbler cool. I have heat gloves. I take the tumbler right out of the tumbler press and I rip off the paper, and it's good. Now with shirts, I highly suggest you do let it cool down, because I've seen people do something in their shirts. It's called ghosting, which means you'll see like a little piece, like residue almost of the design. So it'll be like a little shadow on the design. That's called ghosting, and no, everybody hates ghosting. But with shirts, let it cool off all the way. Other things like keychains and everything, normally I don't let that cool down at all. It's usually piping hot when I peel it off. Okay, but I have heat gloves, so always make sure you're working with heat gloves. We had a list just now, and I didn't mention heat gloves for you guys. Make sure you have heat gloves, and make sure you have heat tape. Listen, we're gonna go over all of this because boot camp is coming, sublimation boot camp is coming. I'm gonna show y'all everything. But I was just trying to show you the basics. But you would need heat tape. Excuse me, sorry. Whew. And depending on which you're sublimating is going to depend if you need heat gloves or not. Okay. Then after that is the reveal. You show what your beautiful creation is, show what you made, use it, walk around with it, have it in your everyday life. I made this. I think this is what number tumbler is this? Third? I don't know. I'm always making myself a tumbler, child. I got another one up there. It's crazy. But yeah, show the reveal. So one thing you guys need to understand is consistency beats fancy gear. That's one thing in the craft industry that is very difficult to get through to people, because they're used to TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, showing them these people who are crafters, but they have this amazing gear, and they're like, if only I had that printer, if I had that, like I'll be good. And it's just like, you don't need that printer, because this printer prints as well. So don't worry about spending thousands on like all these different high-tech items. You don't need to do that. Just get the basic stuff that works and work your way up, okay? And be consistent. It's going to beat the fancy gear every single time. All right? Oh, where's the top part at? There we go. So here are some common beginner mistakes, okay? One I thought I heard somebody. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so common beginner pitfalls. All right, we're going to talk about some common beginner mistakes that people make when they are doing sublimation. Okay, so the first thing that people do, they have dull colors. Okay, you have to have bright colors. Like I said before, bold images, pretty things, the vibrant, detailed. Dull colors is just not going to do it. Okay, so make sure that when you start sublimation, you have bright colored PNGs, bright colored pictures and things and designs. Okay, no dull. We don't do dull colors. We don't like that. Ghosting or shifting, like I just spoke about before. If your design shifts while everything's still hot and it's still transferring, it's it's going to press it where you had it, and then when you shift it, it's going to press it there too. So it's going to be, it's probably going to be a little lighter because all the ink is basically getting pulled out in the first part, but you don't want ghosting or shifting, okay? You have to make sure you have a way to keep your things very still under the heat press, okay? Blurry or banded prints, okay? What did I mean by banded? Did I mean band? I don't know, child. But anyway, blurry prints, banded prints, whatever. Okay. So you want to make sure your prints, like I said, are vibrant. They are clear. You can see them. Okay. Make sure that you always have to make sure that you have a really good image. Okay, because that's the better your image, the better your end product is going to be. All right. So if you need to fix any of these, it's going to be covered in bootcamp, which will be um released onto my website either today or tomorrow, but we'll talk about that later, okay? But this is just me talking to you guys about the mistakes that you guys can be making when you first start. But obviously, I'm here to help you fix that out. Let's see. All right, blank. Here goes some blanks that love sublimation. There's just a couple examples of blanks. Some of the best blanks are the high poly count material or the apparel. I'm sorry, not material. Apparel, which is like shirts. They also have aprons and things like that. So I'm not just going to say shirts. I'm going to say apparel because they have they have shirts. They have what's that called? Like aprons. They have little bags. It's little apparel that you can use. Where it's going into fabric. There's Hobby Lobby has a whole aisle of sublimation items. Then you have coated mugs or tumblers. Okay, that's like this tumbler here, and they also have them in mug form. Also keychains, slates. Slates are like the big rectangle. It looks like crystal. I don't know. It's like rock, but like see through. It's like crystal, right? So then the front of it is poly coated, and then you can press and you can have a picture on the front. Most people use it for memorial stuff. Then you also, it's so many different things they have for blanks. They have air fresheners. They have that's it. Yeah, he gets here. They have the little buttons. They have graduation was big with stoles. What other sublimation stuff they have? Book bags. They have sublimation. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. It's so many things. I could just name things forever. They got puzzles and child, it's a lot. Okay, so they do have a lot of there's a lot of things that you can sublimate, but some of the best are the keychains, the mugs, tumblers, the apparel, slates. All right. All right, so always look for polyester or sublimation ready. Most of it depends on what store you're in, but you'll see some stuff and it'll be a bright sticker that'll say sublimation ready or sublimation product or great for sublimation, something like that. You'll see it. And then other stuff, just look on the tag for like the fabric, and it'll say polyester. It'll say the percentage, everything like that. So when you do sublimation, you gotta look at clothes a different way. Okay, you gotta look at that percentage is. All right, so let's talk really fast about time and workspace. You want to make sure when you're doing sublimation, it can get very messy quickly. Like if you have a craft room, it get real messy real quick, and you don't even realize, okay? But you want to make sure you have a small, clean workspace. All right, it could be big, but just make sure the spot that you're working is nice and clean. Okay. You want to make sure you have ventilation, okay? And you're practicing heat safety. There's no things around the heat press that it can melt. Make sure that when you're doing sublimation, you have a window open. Sublimation, like I said, produces fumes, and depending on the item, it could be a lot of fumes. So, like sometimes I have lifted my heat press up, and the fumes was just coming from the item, so I had to open my window. Okay, so you're going to also test your prints out to save money. All right. So when you're doing this, you could get something. You could get like a shirt, like a large shirt, extra large shirt, something like that, and do test presses on that shirt. So you don't have to use a bunch of different things. You can be like, okay, let me do this little piece on the shirt, press on the shirt. The shirt gonna be looking crazy. It's gonna have a bunch of little colors on it, but you can use it to test. Okay. So don't just get all this big stuff and oh my gosh, like do it. Please do it smart. Test your prints, okay, in small pieces, okay? All right, so are you ready to start sublimating? Let's see. You have to have these specific things to actually get started. You have to have the printer, the ink, and the paper ready. Everything got to be ready. You also got to have your design ready, okay? But you have to have the printer, the ink, and the paper ready. That's how you know you're ready to go, all right? You have to have at least 2 sublimation ready blanks. It could be 2 of the same one. I personally, I'm saying 2. I feel like you should have at least 4 or 5, because you, depending on like what you're doing with like what you're pressing, you can mess it up. Like you don't know the pressure, because sometimes some heat presses actually say the pressure. Some heat presses you gotta like adjust it and be like, okay, I think that's firm pressure. Like so, just have a couple submission blanks. Okay, get them ready. So you have to have at least one simple graphic to practice. That's what I said before. You have to have at least one design. Okay, it could be anything, honestly. Right. So you have to have your stuff together. Get it together. Right. Once you got all that stuff, you ready to start sublimating. All right. So, question: do you want to learn more and start your business? Do you want to learn how to sublimate? Be in a sublimation business, you want to have your printer, have your items, have your stuff. And honestly, I can really show you how to start sublimating without a freaking printer. So everybody thinks, oh, I need a print. Like I can show you how to start doing DTF. Like this isn't even a DTF live. I can show you how to do DTF shirts and stuff without even having a heat press. I can show you how to start a party favor business with no printer. I can show you how to start a sublimation business with zero printer. Okay, don't play with me, because I can show you how. Listen, I'm quick to tell you how to do something easier, and then you can just build up. Okay, so if you do want to learn more, you need to be my sublimation boot camp. Um, Everything is getting released soon, so make sure that you get in the room. It is going to be on November the 7th. Okay, it's going to be 3 weeks of class, but it's only going to be 1 day per week. This is how I did the party favor boot camp. Amazing, everything turned out all so great. They got a boatload of information. And everybody's like, when are you doing the next one? When are you doing the next one? So here's the next one. We're doing another boot camp. But this is for sublimation. This is all things sublimation, how to start your business and every freaking thing. Okay. How to market your business, how to start your business, how to design, how to make some, how to make images for your sublimation projects, everything. Settings, times, temps, hacks, things I wish I knew, things you need to know right now before you start. Ciao. We're gonna be going through all of that. Okay. Now, like I said, designing real settings, live demos. So we are going to be pressing. We're going to be pressing a couple things at boot camp. We're going to have a vendor list. All right. I'm going to show you guys my vendor list, all the vendors that I use. I'm going to show you the brands that I use. I'm going to give you the prices of them. We're going to be designing in Canva, talking about AI, marketing, content creation. So we're basically going to start on the foundation of boot camp, and then we're going to go to, after a boot camp, we're going to go to the foundation of sublimation. Then after this foundation of sublimation, in the middle, we're going to design things, and then we're going to actually press, like we're going to print and press items. So it's going to be freaking awesome. Okay. It starts November 7th. So the description in the video here, it has all of my stuff. It has my Facebook business page. It has my website, but it also has a link on there so that you can join our email list and you can join my craft community on Facebook. It's called Keep It Crafty, and you'll be the first person to know, because I do it. Well, truthfully, the first people to ever know about all the stuff that's coming up is the email list. So if you're not in my email list, you need to get my email list. The email list learns everything first, okay? And then the craft community comes a very close second, because I pretty much announce those things one day after the other. But one person still knows first, okay? So that's the end. Yep. So that's the end of the presentation. If you want to join favorite, I'm gonna say favorite hustle boot camp. If you do want to join sublimation boot camp, I'm gonna take the screen sharing off. Okay. If you do want to join the sublimation boot camp, make sure you join the email list. Make sure let me see. Make sure you join the email list. Make sure that you join our craft community on Facebook, because we're going to be deep diving in that boot camp. It's going to be, we have a month. It's literally a month away. So talk to your friends, get a little pocket change. It's going to be dropping. When is it? I think it drops. I think the tickets drop in like a week. Yeah. So the tickets are going to drop in like a week. So make sure that you're there and that you, okay, get your business started. I got these people. I got my students from Favorite Hustle Boot Camp. I got them started on this. And the lady, one of my students, went and bought a printer the next day. So don't play with her. Don't play with her, okay? But I just wanted to jump in on this craft room at noon and just introduce sublimation to you guys so you guys can know if it's even a good fit for you. If you feel like even doing all that, or if you like, oh, that ain't nothing, I'm doing that. Okay. I just want to make sure that you guys know what sublimation is because a lot of people don't when they hear that word, they're like, what? What's that? Like, no, we're not doing that. I'm going to be here every step of the way to make sure that you guys are able to start your business in whatever space in the craft community that you can. Okay. Because even still, like, even if, let's say you're an embroiderer, you can still use AI, you can still use email marketing, you can still use these things. So I like to talk to crafters because crafters don't really think that they can really do this thing other than like a side hustle. And you can. You really can. You just got to do it the right way. But make sure you check the description. You can join our Facebook craft community and make sure that you come on over and join our email list. And we'll be dropping the tickets very soon for boot camp. Get your seats, okay? It is limited. Yeah, there's different tiers. You can get your VIP, your premium, but we'll talk about that when it drop. We'll talk about that when it drop. We'll be back next week. Next week's um, what is next week's? I thought I knew it. I thought I knew it, but I don't. What is next week's? Oh, okay, next week is the top 5 common sublimation mistakes. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to avoid them. And it's only the top 5. People make a lot of mistakes in sublimation. But we're going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that people make. And we're going to talk about that next week. But until then, you guys, make sure you join us on all platforms. IG, I'm on TikTok, Ashley That Crafter 1. I'm on IG, Ashley _ That Crafter, I think. Yeah, but check me out. All them links in the description. Click on, follow them. And I can't wait to see you next week. But I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful Monday and be blessed. Keep it crafty. Bye.